Okay, so this is the second time of filming this review because the first time I filmed it and I realized I filmed it in the wrong manner, in the wrong camera settings. Fun. So you know how Transformers Studio Series usually puts out pretty good figures? Well, this ain't one of them. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Transformers Studio Series Voyager Class Gamer Edition Megatron.
This is disgusting. This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would. But I legally can't. But I've considered it.
And I gotta say, this is probably one of the worst figures I've picked up this year. So I've changed my review setup some, and I'm going to try to take a more lighthearted approach to this figure because I want this to be more of a comedy relief type ordeal because this figure definitely is not anything to take seriously. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. So yeah, it's awesome. The Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron fans are finally getting updated figures of all the characters that we love from the games. And I gotta admit, Megatron here definitely fell on the shorter end of things. I don't know why, because Hasbro literally just proved with their release of the Gamer Edition Optimus Prime that they can make good figures in the Voyager class range. But this one they just really got lazy with. So yeah, his Nokia phone mode, or the tank mode, is pretty decent. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to it. It's mostly gray, there's very minimal paint applications going on here. You have purple highlights, sculpted in details, and all that good stuff throughout the tank mode. And I will say, I do like the silver that they used here on the side of the tank in these two sections only, but overall, it's meh, it's okay. Like I said, it's just kind of this tank rectangular Nokia phone type ordeal. I mean, it is Siege Blast compatible, so I mean, that's always a plus. So kind of leaping into the robot mode, I'm not really going to fast forward it or do anything because the transformation's super simple. You kind of just start moving stuff around and, you know, unpegging the legs, moving the arms. There's nothing really all that special about the transformation. You get to looking at the tank mode, you can pretty much figure out how the robot mode's going to come together. I mean, super simplistic transformation. And you think, okay, well maybe the robot mode will be better or have its advantages over the tank mode. And, kinda. I mean, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it, but the tank mode's definitely the more accurate of the two modes. It's just kind of sad. That's all I know how to say. And I loved whenever I first got this figure out of the box. Now, mind you, Voyager class figures are expensive nowadays. They're running for about, say $30-ish, $33. I got this guy at GameStop, and odds are I think I probably paid $36-ish after tax. Because I'm looking at the sticker right now, and it's $34.99. GameStop wanted $34.99 or $33.24 if you were a pro member. You got to save $1 and some change. But I probably paid $36, $37 for this. I think the best part about paying so much for Voyager class figures these days is that the quality that you get within these figures are promised to be top notch, no matter what.
I pay them $980 of my hard-earned money. I take a right-hand turn out of the mall. The left rear wheel falls off. It falls off.
But anyway, wrapping up his transformation, you give him his fusion cannon, and there you have the warlord that is Megatron. And sure, you get to looking at it, and yeah, it looks pretty spot on if you don't have the reference material right next to you. But you include the reference material and kind of get comparing things, and then you realized, could have been better. I think all the paint applications on the head are really nice. You've got purple highlights, you've got black highlights, the silver on the face, and the red eyes. All of it done very crisp and precise. However, you get to looking at the CGI model and realize that the head sculpt is just not even there. In no way, shape, or form will a figure that came out years ago be able to beat it in the accuracy department. Oh wait, it did. Okay, so the head sculpt ain't all the most accurate that we've ever seen. Oh well, we get to looking at the details, and they're pretty nice. You've got all the sculpted in mechanical detail. That does look pretty doggone good, and you've got some paint applications here and there. That kind of help everything pop. But there's an overwhelming amount of gray plastic on the figure, and they use a really nice metallic silver in the tank mode. Where is it for the robot mode? Just non-existent. Okay, oh well, the figure does clean up pretty decent for the most part. There's some kibble on the legs, and yeah, the back looks fine-ish. What is this? Kind of just hanging off the back. Okay. Oh well, not a big deal. Maybe there's another redeeming factor to the figure. Articulation. Articulation's pretty decent with a ball joint at the head. He can look left to right, no full 360 action. Arms, you get full 360 rotation, which is pretty doggone good. And then you do have outward movement. These little pieces right here hinge back and forth, so you've got plenty of room there to move the joints. You got double bended elbows for both arms, which is awesome, so you can get some really good articulation there. You do have a swivel right below the elbow, so you can kind of pull off all the different poses that you need to with that, which I think is really cool. I actually really do like that bit of articulation. I think that's one of the redeeming points of this figure, genuinely, no sarcasm intended. And yeah, and then you got no real wrist swivel or anything. The lower body is pretty well articulated. You got a full 360 rotation at the waist. The legs got plenty of articulation all the way up to the knee, but I'll get into that here in a moment. Can kick forward, can kick backwards, can kick out to the side. You do have that amazing thigh swivel with no QC problems at all. And then you get to the knees and you think, okay, well, the knees got to be pretty well articulated, right? There's not a whole lot of kibble on the back here. So you go to bend the knee and you get one click. One click.
You had one job. Just the one.
And then you think to yourself, okay, that's it. Well, come around to the back here, and Hasbro has got these pegs on the back of the knee for no real reason. And they just block the knee joints. So the only way you can get more knee articulation is if you clip these pegs off, which I'm planning on selling this figure after this review, so God knows I'm not going to go and alter it and damage it. I want this figure to be pristine for when I sell it. So there's that. And then you've got your forward and backwards ankle movement, and you're kind of side to side, and then you got a toe bend, and then the heels kind of articulate as well. So the knees alone kind of just ruin all the poses that you could really do with this figure. Then the cannon's kind of a joke, because like I like the glossy black that they've used for it, but at what costs? I will say one detail I do appreciate is that you can literally rip off Megatron's arm, throw it off to the side, and then plug in his battle cannon into his arm to represent what he did in the game. And you know what? From a third-person perspective, like we saw in the video games, it actually doesn't look half bad. But from the front, I swear this looks like one of the pictures from those Transformer video compilations of cursed images. Luckily though, if Firepower doesn't have him covered, he does have a melee weapon, which is his Energon Mace, which we saw him use a good bit in the gaming franchise. And you think, okay, well, I'm going to have him hold it, and that's all good and well, because he surely can, by the base of the hilts. You cannot grab it by the upper part of the handle like you would normally. You'd think, okay, well, they're going to have a way for him to hold it like this and kind of have it a little bit more naturally gripped. No. Just kind of have it at the base, like so. As much as I joke around and cut up, a lot of the points that I do make throughout this video and have made throughout this video are accurate. I joke around, but at the same time, I'm being dead serious. This is a figure, if you're looking into the Fall of Cybertron Megatron design, just pass on this figure. Just pass. If you can get the original, get the original. I got mine for like 25 bucks used. And this thing is awesome. I absolutely love this figure. But the new one here, it just fails on so many levels, it's not even funny. Like at first it's like, oh, ha ha ha. And then it's just irritation, because it's like, come on, Hasbro. Don't be lazy. Actually work on the figures, because I mean, if you made this several years ago, you can redo it now and make it good. That's all I'm saying. I'm done rambling. I'm done.